Part two, where we'll be looking at aspect ratios, resolution, frame rate, and platform specs. Let's start with what is an aspect ratio. Aspect ratio describes shape, not size. So instead of using a measurement term like inches, it thinks as units. It is listed with the width and then the height separated by a colon. So 16:9 is a horizontal format. 9:16 is a vertical format. Think about your phone. When you hold it upright, you're viewing content in a vertical format. That is why TikTok, Reels, and Stories use 9 to 16. Traditional video and YouTube content typically uses 16 to 9. When you create content for the wrong aspect ratio, you're essentially designing for the wrong screen. But you don't need to only consider aspect ratio when creating content. Resolution refers to the amount of detail in an image or video. More pixels generally means greater clarity and detail. A common resolution is 1920 by 1080. Think of pixels like tiny building blocks. A file using these building blocks is called a raster file. The more building blocks you have, the more detailed your image can become. So a resolution of 1920 by 1080 pixels means there are over 2 million pixels in that image. In the end, resolution affects content quality, but it also affects file size. Frame rate determines how smooth motion appears. It's measured by frames per second. 24 frames per second gives a cinematic feel. 30 frames per second is standard for most marketing content. 60 frames per second appears extremely smooth and is often used for sports, gaming, and action-heavy footage. This chart highlights an important rule. Platforms have different requirements. It's important to research their requirements before creating content. Notice that you need to pay attention not only to the aspect ratio, but also resolution. And if it's an MP4 file, the frame rate and the length of content too. As a marketer, we should create content for the platform where it will live, not force every platform to use the same content. Now pause to take Creative Concepts Week 1, Part 2, check your understanding quiz.